Hey guys, it's part 2, so if you haven't seen part 1, you may want to go watch it first because we are starting off with baby day. So yes, it is baby day. Oh, and this is Chancey. And my doctor had pretty much said, yep, it's his birthday. We're going in 2 hours. Thankfully, my body was responding to the medication enough to bring it down a little bit, but not where we needed it. Because if it didn't, my husband was not going to be able to be in the room with me because I had to have a C-section due to my placenta previa. If it ends up being more emergent, then they have to put you to sleep and they need a bigger anesthesia team there, or I'm sure I'm butchering all these medical terms, but they need more people there, so he would not have been able to be in the room. But he was able to. So we started walking there. I will, at the end of this video, include all the photos of like the actual day of. The surgery, honestly, they set me on a chair. They were like, we're going to put this medication in your back. It's going to burn, this and that. I barely even felt it. When they were done, I was like, that was it. My legs immediately got numb and tingly. Then they told me to put my legs up on the board. And I was like, they're like rocks right now. But I was able to. They had to help me. And the whole time, I mean, that was like the best experience ever. I was really expecting the worst. I wasn't really scared. I have a very high pain tolerance. But I was really expecting the worst from what I've heard about C-sections and whatnot. That was a breeze. It was a very like weird experience if you've never had one. I've heard people say this, but like you really don't know unless you've had one. But like while you're laying there, you legit feel them. Like I could feel them reaching for like an organ and moving it to slide and like reach something else and pulling it out, but none of it hurt. But you could seriously feel that like movement of like things coming out of your body, because they literally take everything out to get the baby and then put everything back in like Tetris. So the whole time I'm like smiling and talking with my husband. Out comes the baby, and his name is Bryson, and he weighed 3 pounds and 5 ounces. He came out right at 5 o'clock. And my husband got to immediately go over to that side of the room and be with him as I just laid there and was like listening to all his little cries and noises. The doctor says like as he came out, he like looked for a minute, closed his eyes, and then cried. She's like, it was like he was thinking about it. Like, do I want to cry? But everybody wants to hear the baby cry in the beginning. But it wasn't that he like took in anything. He literally opened his eyes like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And then let out a cry. She's like, he's kind of genius. But I'm sure she says that to everybody. But honestly, it was the best, better than I could have ever imagined. Right after they got him all cleaned up, obviously he was born at 32 weeks. He needed to go to a NICU. But on his way to the NICU, they made a little pit stop by me and let me give him a kiss and see him for like a couple seconds. But they needed to get him there. That was more important. And my husband was able to go with them and get them all set up in the NICU while I stayed back recovering. Post-surgery, I did have some hemorrhaging. At one point, I was laying there and I was like, a softball just came out in my nerve, and I was loopy. I didn't realize how loopy I was, but I think it was because I was bleeding so much. I didn't realize how loopy I was until like a day, 2 or 3 later when my sisters were like, oh yeah, I remember this. And I'm like, no, I really blinked out on a lot. But so a couple hours post-surgery, I'm laying there and I'm like, a softball just came out. And she's like, what do you mean a softball? And I was like, I literally feel like I just had a softball come out. She looks and she's like, oh, it was like 900. I don't know what their scale is. Not 900 pounds, obviously. Maybe 900 grams? I don't know. But it was heavy on their scale. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's not okay. And then I continuously lost a lot of blood. So, thankfully, I was like right on the verge of needing a transfusion. I did not end up needing one, but it did, like the loss of blood made me very loopy. So I didn't get to go see my baby the first night because of the bleeding, but I did get to go see him the next day. And he was perfect. I'll include all the photos of our baby day.
It's 4:15 p.m. Thursday, June 2nd.
My mom's birthday.
Her mom's birthday. And we are about to go into labor. I was going to leave at 3, and then her blood pressure started going up. It's 172 now. Doctors came in, said, okay, baby's birthday. Here's our second cart. I've already taken one full one of gifts all the way out to the car. It's any minute now. Okay, what were we saying? I cut off.
I'm calm. Daddy over there is freaking out.
Freak and out. I'm weird. Like I don't get nervous really, but I'm fucking nervous. You know, like it's crazy. It's different because you know we're 32 weeks, 5 days. You know, so there's NICU times, and you just want the best. And you know, our journey of 3 to 4 years now that we're finally here this day. You know, just kind of imagine how you're gonna feel, and there's nothing like the real deal. You know, so yeah, very nervous. Goodbye, room 241. It has been fun. I told her. Close. You're done.
I know we usually don't, but can you undo it and let me get him a little closer? His mom's.
Mom gets to meet baby. Okay.
So she just wanted.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Braxton. Buddy.
is he not perfect. I will say, to go ahead and get this out of there, C-sections are not that bad. If you're about to have one or are worried about it, I honestly think that was so easy. The first couple days I was good. I was a little sore, but I was good. And then day 3, the soreness hit, and I finally was like, yeah, I probably need that medicine. But that really only lasted like a day, and then I was good again. So if you're gonna have a C-section, don't be terrified. It's gonna be okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for following my journey. I will update y'all with a part 3 on more of his NICU stay, because that's a whole video in itself. But I just wanted to update y'all guys and let y'all know he is good and he is doing great, and we can't wait to have him home.